podcast is inspired by the books I read. So get yourself a cup of tea, settle in, and let me tell you a story while I sew a dress. This week's book is EDENBROOKE by Julia Donaldson. This is one of my favorite books I have ever read. I adore this. It is so wonderful. I vividly remember reading it for the first time, and I stayed up until morning to read it. And it was beautiful. I'm so in love with the story. It also brought me to find the most reliable source of a comfort read for me, which is proper romance. So I like these. This, by the way, is not an ad for proper romance. I wish it was. Because these are incredibly hard to get here, and also, you know, at this point I've spent a considerable amount of money on them. Yeah. So there's that. But they're so hard to get in Europe. I don't know why. I've tried in multiple countries actually, and I cannot find them anywhere. It's the biggest shame. They're so hard to get. But, you know, as you can tell, I do manage to get them. Anyways, I absolutely adore these. They have the most just sweeping, swoon-worthy romances with the most beautiful just yearning, and the men are lovely in these. And the heroines are so often such like gentle souls, which I absolutely adore. And yeah, they're just beautiful every single time, and they're a comfort read every single time. They're so reliably fantastic. I love these. Anyways, I'm already chatting too much. Alright, so this book is about Marianne, who lives in Bath with her spinster aunt and grandmother, and she's sort of very unhappy there, and so she jumps at the opportunity when she gets a letter from her sister inviting her to this country estate where her sister hopes to secure a husband for herself. Marianne is just excited to get out of the city, and on the way there, her and her maid and their coachman get attacked by highwaymen, or a highwayman, I think, highwayman, and that is how we meet our love interest, Philip. He's not the highwayman, he helps. And I love this romance. Now, before I swoon any more about the book, let me tell you about the dress so that we can get started on that. So, frankly, it felt quite obvious. I loved this book, and I wanted it to be a real homage to the book. So we are going with the dress on the book, essentially. Not as long as the dress on the book, but like the kind of puffy sleeve, the white sort of classic shape. Yeah. I have actually made this dress before, so I had the pattern already made, so I don't have to do that, which is nice. I have this dress in pink and in white, but it's not as well made. I made it a while ago when I was first getting into like making my own patterns, making dresses, so it was a bit of a mess. Anyways, but I have it in pink, and I once posted this video of this dress, and I think I mentioned I was going to church or something, and for Lord knows what reason, 5 million people saw this video, and I have no clue why. It got like 5,000 comments for some reason, and everyone was very upset at me for this dress. So apparently it's the most scandalous thing ever, so I guess beware. I think it's very sweet, so I'm gonna make it again. And because I'm, you know, talking more, and I don't think the men will stick around for that, I think we're quite safe from all the angry comments. It's just us girls. Now back to the book. This book feels like the loveliest warm summer day. It is beautiful. The love story is so swoon worthy. The side characters are endearing too. I love them. All of these books have just such, I mean, obviously there's conflict, there's like, you know, characters that we don't like obviously there's bad guys. However, there's just such kind people in these books, and I love them. But truly, the main thing I love about these books is just the love stories. They're so beautiful. I genuinely had never read such a beautiful, gentle love story before that is so just sweepingly romantic too. It was beautiful. So some examples of just absolutely romantic moments. For example, Philip reads to her in this apple orchard outside the estate. Getting comfy? He leaves her little notes and poetry books that he sends up to her room. He writes her love letters because she's never gotten a love letter before. And he just makes such an effort to get to know her and like to I just to love her in like the way that she would like to be loved. And it truly is just so beautiful. The ending, oh, it made me swoon. But I love Marianne too. She's such a gentle, sweet soul, but still like, very capable. So her story, like I said at the start, she is living with her spinster aunt and her grandmother, and she has a sort of kind of weird suitor that she doesn't really like, and she is just very unhappy there. And her father has left her and her sister under the care of relatives because he is off to France, and she feels very left behind by him. Her mother is dead, and she's sort of the whole book struggling with this feeling of like not being enough for someone to stay a little bit, and I think that's such a relatable feeling, and that's what makes the relationship with Philip so deeply wonderful, because it's just he makes such an effort to get to know her, and he shows so much that she's like worthy of this interest and of this love, and it's just lovely. I also though really like the sort of conflict bits of this story. There's one part of this book that genuinely, if you told me the plot before, I would have been like, I'm not sure if I'd like that. But so, alright. Slight spoiler alert if you want to skip. This is the little timestamp. But truly, I don't think it's too bad. Because you're not really reading this for, like, the plot twists, I think. It's quite sweet. But I'll also won't tell you what the final plot twist is. All good. But just, so it turns out that the man that Marianne's sister is hoping to marry is Philip. And that Philip is the heir to Edenbrooke, and Marianne finds out after about 2 weeks of just falling for him. So because she had gone to stay at Edenbrooke 2 weeks before her sister arrives, and so she just has these 2 weeks alone with Philip, and they're just beautiful, and she falls in love, and then she realizes, oh my gosh, he is the man my sister wants to marry. And she steps back because she loves her sister so much. I think that's handled in such a beautiful way, and also at the end, when obviously she does end up with Philip, not her sister, her sister is so lovely, and it's just, there's such a beautiful sibling relationship there too, and I just genuine care for everyone. And I really like the end. It got a little suspenseful, but not too much that it took away from the coziness. It wasn't too drawn out either. It was just a nice little, getting saved moment. Quite swoon-worthy too, and it ends in the most beautiful way, and I just cannot recommend this book highly enough. It is absolutely lovely, and you should read it. Please read it. I think I'm gonna have to do more proper romance videos because I like them. So I hope you like this. Maybe I could do like some videos like making dresses inspired by my favorite ones. Or maybe just a video like introducing some of my favorite ones, or sort of like rating them or something. Rating, frankly, I don't know if we're gonna have many ups and downs. There's mostly ups, but maybe just a recommendation guide. Anyways, I'm gonna show you the dress now, and I hope you enjoyed our cozy little time together. I know I did. I love talking about these books. They make me so happy, and they're just so delightful. Oh, one little thing. So I was flipping through this book, and I have this thing, I underline the cozy lines. And the books are like the most romantic lines, or, just anything that I would like to come back to. And there's one part. Oh gosh, how am I gonna find it again? Here. For context, I read this book for the first time a few short months before I met my husband, and if you have ever been on my Instagram, there's quite a few videos of my husband reading to me. I absolutely adore it. It's my favorite thing. He reads to me while I sew. I love it. And he's also been in some of my, that's the person you see sometimes with holding a book in the corner when I sew. Anyways, here is the little passage, and it is: I glanced up when Philip came away from the window and sat next to me on the settee. He held out his hand. May I? I handed him the book, which he opened to the first page. Philip cleared his throat and read the first poem out loud. And little me wrote, "This is the most romantic thing" next to it, and I feel quite blessed that I found a man who does this for me. I don't know, I just thought it was sweet. I'm in love with my husband. Alright, anyways, the dress. Let's move on. Sorry. Alright, here is the dress. I'm really pleased with it. I like it a lot. I feel like it really matches the vibe of the book. It's very comfy and yeah, I'm just really happy. I hope you liked this video and I hope you liked the book. You should definitely give it a try if you haven't read it yet. And I hope that I can maybe do a couple more proper romances if you'd be interested in that. because I certainly have the selection for it. Alright, yeah, anyways, I hope to see you next week, friend, and I hope you have a lovely time until then.